and welcome back to Football Barbie, where we talk about anything and everything football here. So as of lately, according to this year, 7 players, in the past 2 years have been indefinitely suspended or suspended due to the NFL's gambling policy. Do you happen to know what is involved in the NFL's gambling policy? Because apparently a lot of the players have seemed very confused on what is actually going on. So let's get it started. Let's talk to you about the NFL gambling policy and what you need to know why these players are getting themselves suspended from the teams.
Hold on, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished?
There are 3 main rules that each player needs to follow, where the players do have different rules than league personnel. It all started when Lions receiver Jameson Williams even admitted that he wasn't even aware how the gambling policy works after he was hit with a 6-game suspension. He was one of 5 players to get hit with a major suspension back in April. Isaiah Rodgers, Rashad Berry, and Demetrius Taylor bring the number of players suspended for gambling on NFL games. These 3 are the ones that received an indefinite suspension. They cannot seek reinstatement until after the 2023 season. Taylor bet on games in the NFL in 2022, and Rodgers faces the same accusation. It brings a total, like I said, to 7 players over the past 2 years. Receiver Calvin Ridley was reinstated this year after he missed the 2022 season due to a league violation of the gambling, and he will return to the Jags after a trade was met from the Falcons. So Williams apparently isn't only the player who appears to be confused about the league's gambling policy. The Athletic had interviewed 5 anonymous NFL players, and none of them seemed to have a full understanding of what the gambling policy actually was. One player was unaware that you couldn't place bets from a team facility, while another player thought the policy meant that you couldn't bet on NFL during the NFL season. One player who had been in the NFL for a decade admitted that he flat out didn't know what the policy was on gambling. I don't even know what the rule is or when the rules change or the fine print on what you can or can't gamble on, the veteran said. Number 1, no betting on the NFL. All NFL personnel are prohibited from placing, soliciting, or facilitating any bet, whether directly or through a third party, on any NFL game, practice, or other event, draft, combine, etc. So basically, nothing to do with the NFL. You cannot bet on the NFL at all if you are league personnel or a player. This includes also betting on game outcome, statistics, scores, performance, and any individual participant futures, or any other kind of prop bet in any way related to the NFL, regardless of whether such bet involves actual on-field play. You can't bet on prop bets that are such as Gatorade color, pre or post game events, halftime show, off-field player conduct or outcomes, etc. Breakdown. This rule is pretty clear and applies to both players and the league personnel. No one is allowed to gamble on any NFL-related event. Number 2, betting on other sports. All NFL personnel, other than players, are further prohibited from placing, soliciting, or facilitating bets on any professional NBA, NHL, MLB, PGA, USTA, MLS, college, NCAA basketball, international, World Baseball Classic, World Cup, or amateur, Olympic, AAU, sports competition, tournament, or event. Basically, all NFL personnel are not allowed to gamble in the slightest. Breakdown, this rule is slightly more confusing. NFL players are allowed to bet on other sports, but other league personnel are not allowed to bet on other sports. League personnel can only partake in non-sports gambling, and they have to do it on their own personal time. NFL personnel aren't also allowed to visit any sports books while the NFL is going on. Number 3, no gambling in the workplace. And this is how people are actually getting caught. This is a rule that Williams allegedly broke. NFL personnel shall not engage in any form of gambling in any club or league facility. This is where it gets complicated. Or venue, practice facility, stadium, hotel, the team hotel, draft, or other league or club event on any league or club, charter, or transport while traveling or in club or leagues or business, or while making an endorsement or promotional appearance. So if you're on your way to an NFL event, you're on your way home from an NFL event, like anything that has to do with the NFL, here, there, whatever, you cannot do it. This doesn't matter. Breakdown: although players are allowed to gamble on other sports, they are not allowed to make bets while at a team facility or venue. The NFL's gambling policy also includes a few other obvious rules for players. Don't try to fix the game. Always give your best effort and do not give out any inside info. NFL players and personnel are also banned from making illegal bets. This basically means that if gambling is still illegal in your state, you can't call your neighborhood bookie to make a bet for you. One other part of the policy revolves around fantasy football. NFL personnel are allowed to participate, but they can't accept a prize of more than $250. Also, no one is allowed to make DFS bets on NFL daily fantasy. The NFL seems at least slightly aware that some of the players don't fully understand the policy, which is likely what Tom Brady was recently brought in to help educate players about the dangers of gambling. So basically, there are 3 main rules that the players have to follow. NFL players are allowed to gamble in other sports as long as it has nothing to do and it's on their own personal time. NFL personnel are not allowed to gamble in the slightest on anything that is any form of sports related. So basically, that is it. You cannot gamble to an event, from an event, at a league personnel, party has to do an NFL. It literally must be on your own personal time. That's not any form of related to NFL for NFL players. They cannot get, nobody can bet on the NFL at all. It doesn't matter who you are, you're not betting on the NFL. You just can't. You're going to get fired, or you're going to get indefinitely suspended. The indefinite suspensions are at least a year long. Other players are suspended for 6 months. So, or 6 games. I'm sorry, 6 game suspension. So, thank you guys. That's it. Thank you. Please watch, like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate if you would subscribe. There are a lot of people who apparently do watch but do not subscribe. It is free to subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Tell me in the comment below. Does anybody else know about the gambling policy? Because I definitely didn't know about it until I did some research on it. So thank you. Love you all. Ta-ta for now.